Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So what I will be filming today is a holiday look. I've gotten a lot of new makeup in lately, so I haven't been able to play around with everything. So today is the day that I'm going to try out a brand new palette. I've already prepped my face and I've done my brows already. So what we'll be doing is just the rest of my face, and we will be doing eyes. To prep my eyes for my eyeshadow, I'm going in with the NYX HD eyeshadow primer. Normally just put a dab of it on my eyelids, and then I will take a brush and then just blend it all in. For my eyes today, I will be using the Bad Habit Beauty Athena palette, and you can find this on Shop Hush. They have a website, but they also have an app as well that you can purchase things from. And I'll be making a separate video with items that I've just gotten from Shop Hush because I've been collecting a whole bunch of things from there lately. But this is what the palette looks like, and it's actually a dupe for the Huda Beauty Desert Dusk eyeshadow palette. And normally the Huda Beauty palette goes for $65, and I bought this one for $12. So $12. This is exactly the same color shades that the other palette has, and I haven't gotten around to playing with it too much, but I swatched a lot of the shades and they're just beautiful. The first color that I think I'm going to use is Power, right here. I normally just take a fluffy brush and I will go in. One nice thing about this palette is that a little bit goes a long way. So you really don't need to dip too many times into the palette in order to get a big payoff. The only thing that I will say about the palette though is that when you do dip in, you do get a bit of fallout on the palette. So just be careful if you do buy this palette and you're, swirling your brush into each shade. You will get a little bit of kickback. But from what I've seen with kind of messing around with it so far, is that there's not too much fallout on the under eyes, or if there is, there's just a couple of specks that you can just brush away with the bigger brush and it's totally fine. But yeah, I've been really enjoying using this palette so far. I did a Christmas look for school and I didn't have the right color red. The red that I had was way darker than this, and then I had a shimmery red that was way too bright, and it didn't look very nice. So I wish that I had this palette sooner, because I would have been able to make a nicer Christmassy holiday look. Next up, I will be using the shade Prize right here. This is a shimmery red. So we'll see how this one looks on top of Power. And just like with the matte shades, you don't really need a lot on the brush to get a lot of payoff on your lid. And these shimmers look very, very pretty. They're gorgeous. They are blending very nicely, and also when swatching them, I know I've heard a lot of beauty YouTubers say that some shades can be very creamy when they're swatching, and I've never had a palette be like that before, and so I'm like, I totally get it when beauty YouTubers say that, because this the palettes that are done by Bad Habit Beauty, when I've swatched them, they're very creamy even though they are still powder. It's really interesting to feel that when you swatch them. Alright, we've got our eyes nice and red, so don't worry, it's not gonna look this crazy forever. So I think the next color that I will go in with is Cunning. So this one is really, really cool when I've swatched it. Let me see if it'll show up on camera. So I swatched it earlier and it looks peachy pink right here, but let me see if I can get the effect. When you move it in the light, it turns gold. It's not showing up as much on camera, but right now it's showing the peachy pink color, but when the light catches it, it turns a gold color, and it's so cool. I think what we will do with Cunning is we will take the shade and just put it on the inner corners of the eye, and we'll see how that turns out. Now on camera you can kind of see the gold that comes in with the shade, and as you move your head you can kind of see the different changes in the color, which I find really cool, and that's awesome that they could do that in an eyeshadow. So now let's do the other side. Alright, so I think we've got a good look so far, but I think we can go even further with this look. So what we are going to do is we are going to take NYX glitter primer. We're going to put that on the lid, and we are going to add Daring right here. So Daring is the only shade in this palette that is a pure glitter. So when you swatch it, it's not an actual shade. That's why I use my little quotations, because you just swirl your finger in the right here, and it's just glitter that comes out on your finger. So it's really cool that they could actually put a glitter into the palette and have it be kind of controlled in that little pan. It's not all over the place. So we're gonna dip into this. So I have a little bit of the glitter glue on my finger, and I am going to pat it all around. I'm gonna try and just leave the glitter glue out from the inner corner. I'm gonna try leaving the inner corner alone and seeing how it looks. If I don't like it, then I'll just put a little bit more glitter in the inner corner. But I want to try and see how it looks with it just on the lid, and then the shade Cunning on the inner corner. With working with this glitter shade, I find it best to just use your finger for it. I know some other beauty YouTubers, they use brushes, and that's fine if it works for them, but I think for me it just works best if I can just take my finger and then just press the glitter on the lid. That's kind of how I've gotten the best results with this glitter from this palette. And this is what it looks like so far. So, of course it's glitter, so there's gonna be a little bit of a mess, so nothing new there when it comes to glitter. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other eye, but I might add a little bit more to the inner corner. That way the glitter and the glam of it all just keeps going. But like I said, for this shade, so-called shade, to be a completely loose glitter, I really do like how easy it is to control and put on your eye, as well as have it stay so neatly in the pan in the eyeshadow palette, because it just seems like, for it being loose glitter, that it would just go everywhere. But it's been pretty easy to control. I'm going to add a tiny dab of glitter glue on the inner corner. I'm trying to use my pinky finger so I can get in there. It's hard with these nails, I swear. Let's use this finger. So yeah, we'll add a little bit to the inner corner and see how that looks. So you can still see a bit of the eyeshadow Cunning, the one that is gold but also turns a peachy color. You can still see that on the inner corner, so it's not taking away too much, but I just wanted the glitter to start from the inner corner and go all the way out. So obviously with glitter, there is going to be a little bit of a cleanup, but it's not out of control, and I think a lot of that has to do with me using my finger and really controlling where I put it down, so it is pretty easy to clean up. And the glitter isn't super chunky, they're pretty small bits of glitter, so they are easy to lay down and it's easy to move around and clean up as well. Next, it is time for some mascara. So I have the Superhero Mascara by It Cosmetics. Foundation. I use the Fenty Beauty foundation in shade 300, and for applying it I use this kind of brush. I know it's similar to the Artiste kinds of brushes, but this is definitely not an Artiste brush. I don't have the money for that. So normally I go to Marshall's, and Marshall's has a whole bunch of these kinds of brushes, or you can check Amazon. I know Amazon.com has a whole collection of them for like $20 or $30, so you can still get the same kind of brush, but you don't have to pay a whole bunch of money and break the bank. So I normally like to just spray the brush a couple of times, and it's just water. I will spray it. Oops, sorry about that. And I put a little bit on the brush, and we'll just use circling motions. Sorry, I'm looking at my mirror that's right behind the camera just to make sure that I blend all of this in pretty nicely, because this foundation does dry pretty quickly. So I normally try and start with the bottom half of my face. And then I go in with a little bit and I try to get underneath, get the bottom of my chin and get the neck as well, so it can all blend nicely. That way the color doesn't look too crazy on me. And then afterwards I take a little bit and go up top and try to blend it all the way. And most of the time I go in with a beauty blender after all of this to mainly get right here, the sides right here, and then to get right here as well. Just to make sure that it blends evenly and it looks nice. And I'll also go in and leave a little bit right under my eyes as well, because sometimes the brush doesn't always evenly get under my eyes. So, almost done. Almost done. Just trying to even out everything. Okay. I also have a little bit of a spot. Normally, if it was a big spot, I would try to color correct. And normally for zits and pimples and stuff, you will want to use a green color corrector. So I have a green one. And that helps to kind of neutralize the color and make it go away. But since it is so small, I just put a tiny bit of foundation over it just to mask it, because it's not crazy noticeable. However, I will use a color corrector for my under eyes, so it's a bit bright. So this one is pink, and I normally put it under my eyes to help brighten them, because I can get dark circles and get bags under here. So I just put a couple dots under here and just blend it all in. And same to the other side. Just a couple dots and then going back and forth, blending all of that in. And so it looks a little bit brighter. And it's okay that it doesn't quite match yet, because we're not done with the under eyes. What I like to do next is use some setting powder, and this is, this is banana setting powder. And all of these details I'll have in the description box. I like to use this banana setting powder. And so I'll put a bit into the cap, and I will take an angled brush and I'll put a little bit on, and we'll go under the eyes. So I'll place it down. And then just try and blend it in. And I bring some down just a bit. And then I will do the same on the other side. And then the rest of it, if there's any left over on the brush, just make sure you clean it off because it's very powdery and it'll come up. And then what I do next is I will take a small brush and I will put it on my face. So be very careful because it doesn't take very much to get a lot on the brush. So if there's a lot, I just try to distribute it all over, and then I'll go in and blend it all. For me personally, my nose gets very, very oily, so I always try to make sure to get some powder on my T-zone. We are gonna let this continue to bake for a little while longer. Now that we are done with our setting powder, I move on to bronzer. So this is the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer. I believe this is in shade medium. I've been using it so long. This is a travel size one, but I've been using it so long that all of the writing has come off, and yeah, but I'm pretty sure that this is in the shade medium. For blush, I will be using from the I Want It All Kylie Cosmetics palette. I will be using Cheers right here. Before we get to highlighting, I normally take my beauty blender, and then this is when I go back in and I just blend in the rest of the setting powder. I set it in very carefully, and this will help make my under eyes look very natural, and all the dark spots will be gone. Lighting, I will use the Jeffree Star Cosmetics 24 Karat Pro palette, and I think we'll use King Tut today. I'm gonna go in with the Maybelline lip liner, and I believe this is in the shade Rose. I've been using this color for so long that all the labeling totally washed off, so this is one of my go-to lip liner favorites. go in and fill the whole entire lip in. Sorry if it's a little messy right there. But I like to fill in the whole lip because when I put on my liquid lipstick, I feel like having it on the whole entire lip helps keep the color on a lot longer. Even when you're eating or having drinks or whatever, it just, for me, it stays on a lot longer when I color in the full lip. That's what I've always done when I've used lip liners. So it has always worked for me. For liquid lipsticks, I have two options. So I have the Jeffree Star liquid lipstick. These are both from the holiday collection. So this one is Poinsettia, and it's a beautiful, beautiful shimmery red. So if you are someone who loves a shimmery red eye look and you are looking for a shimmery red look, I would suggest this color. However, for me, I probably won't go with this color. As much as I love the metallic red of it, I just feel like I've got so much of that going on out of my eyes that I won't be using that. So I think for me, what I will be using is from the same Jeffree Star holiday collection. I will be using the shade Human Nature. So it's that shade right there. So it's a very, very pretty dark brown shade. So now all we need to do is set this look and then we're done. So I'm going in with the NYX Matte Finish finishing spray. And also with this finishing spray, it will help bring out the shine of the highlight as well. So you'll get to see it even more.
A merry little Christmas.